video conferencing. I'm going to try this way, see if it helps you, and we'll go from there, okay? So your first question was a system of equations, or sorry, this is your second question. I did email respond your first question. Hopefully that helps. But you had a question on this one, like how to do it and step by step. So let me kind of walk you through here. When we are trying to solve this system, these numbers are kind of ugly, but in all reality, it's okay. They're not going to hurt us. They're just a little ugly, so maybe make sure you have your calculator out, ready to roll. What we need to do is we need to eliminate either the x's or the y's. Doesn't matter which one. So if you say, hey, let's go ahead and eliminate our x's, we have to find two numbers that are going to be exactly the same that these two can both go into. So we might just, a couple things we might do. So we might look at 23, and 11 is kind of an interesting number. So if I look at 23, 23 times 2 is 46. 11's not going to go into 46 because remember 11, that the two numbers have to be the same. Let's try 23 times 3. It gives us 69. That doesn't help us. 23 times 4 is going to give us 92. Now 23 times 5. When we go above 100, 11 gets a little tricky and a little weird because we can't just look at it and say, oh, it's got to be, the same number like 77 or an 88 or a 22. So now the best thing to do is take 115. Let's divide that by 11 and just see if it comes out to be a whole number, and it doesn't. So we know it's not 23 times 5. How about 23 times 6? It gives 138. If I divide that by 11, again, not a whole number. So let's take 23 times 7, 161. Let's divide that by 11. And again, not there. So 23 times 8. And you just have to kind of keep working it, I'll be honest. Divide by 11. So what I'm trying to do is I'm taking 23 times the number to get a number that 23 can become. And I'm dividing it by 11 to see if I can get there with 11 as well, multiply it by something. So that didn't work. So let's try 23 times 9. That's 287 or 207. Divide that by 11, and that didn't work. Well, we're getting close here. 23 times 10, and divide that by 11, and that's not going to work. But I bet if I take 23 times 11, I bet that's going to be divisible by 11, and sure enough, it's 23. So you could take and multiply the top by 11 and multiply the bottom by 23. Now, again, you could have started out that way, but in all reality, I don't really necessarily teach that because sometimes this will be a smaller number, and you don't have to deal with such big numbers. But if you want, you can always go to the big numbers first. That totally works. We're going to multiply 11 in. Okay, so I take my handy dandy calculator, and I take 11 times 23. That's going to give me 253. So at the top, I get 253. I'm just going to write it right here. 253x minus, then I have to take 46 times 11, because this is 46 times 11, I get 506, so minus 506y equals, and I take 11 times 69, so 11 times 69, that's 759, okay? Now I distribute into 23 all along, so I get 23 times 11, and it's a negative, so negative 253x. 23 times 22 gives me 506. That's a plus 506y. And then I got 23 times 33, and that's 759, and it is negative here, so that's a negative. So as you look here, what happens? Well, these cancel, and these cancel, giving us 0 equals 0. So there's infinite solutions, which I'm pretty sure you probably got, because that wasn't quite, I don't think, your question. But infinite solutions, which means, because there's only two variables, it means that I can let x be whatever I want it to be. So my solution for x is just x. Now, if that's true, all I need to do is I need to take x, and I need to plug it into either of these equations up here and solve for y. And that'll be, because they want this here, they want this to be in terms, they want this y value to be in terms of x. Because x can be anything because it's an infinite solutions. I can let x be 1, 2, 3, 5, -2, -4, whatever I want. If I then plug it in and solve it for y, that would be the y value that I would get out. So I'm just going to let x be x, because it's an infinite solutions. You only do it when it's an infinite solutions. And then I take x and I plug it in, and I then solve for y. I think I'm going to plug into this bottom equation just because it's a positive y here, and I don't like dealing with negatives. You'll get the same answer either way, but I really like this better. So that gives me -11x plus 22y equals -33. And now I just solve for y. So I would add 11x. So I get 22y equals 11x minus 33. Divide by 22. That means to divide this by 22 and this by 22. So I get y equals 11x over 22 is going to just be 1x over 2 minus, and then 33 and 22, 11 goes into both of those. 11 goes into 33 3 times, 11 goes into 22 twice. So my y value is x over 2 minus 3 over 2. So, again, I let x just be x, and then I plug it into one of these equations and solve for y, and then that's what I put right there in for y. And that's my solution. So I hope that helped. I'm going to answer your other question in this video as well, so you don't have to go to 2 different videos. But here's another video. Your second question, or your third question, was the sum of two numbers is twice their difference. Larger number is 9, more than twice the smaller. Find the number, and you're kind of saying you're struggling setting this up. So let's remember that sum means addition. So the sum of two numbers, let's call them x and y. Whenever you read the word is in a mathematical problem like this, it means equal to. So the sum of two numbers is twice their difference. So 2 times x minus y. So x plus y is twice, 2 times their difference. Difference means subtract. So sum means addition, difference means subtract. It says here that the larger number, so let's go ahead and call, since we don't want this to really be a negative, we're going to call x, we're going to let x be the larger number because x minus y we want to be positive. Okay, does that make sense? So since I want this to be positive, I'm going to let x be the larger number. So it says the larger number, which is x, there's that word again, is, equals 9 more than, so that would be 9 more than twice the smaller number, so that would be 2y. So x equals 9 plus 2y. So we actually get, on top, we would get x plus y equals 2x minus 2y. And here we get x equals 9 plus 2y. So to solve this equation, at least for me, this system, what I would do is it's already basically set up for substitution. I would take 9 plus 2y and I'd plug it in here for x and plug it in there for x. So that gives us 9 plus 2y plus y equals 2 times 9 plus 2y minus 2y. So here I have to distribute in the 2, giving me 18 plus 4y minus 2y. Over on this side, I can combine the y's, giving me 9 plus 3y equals this. So then I get 9 plus 3y equals, 9 plus 3y equals. I then combine like terms here, gives me 18 plus 2y. I got to get the y's on the same side, so I take the smaller y over. So I would subtract 2y, which means I'm going to subtract 9, giving me that y equals 9. Now that I know what y equals, I can back substitute it right into this equation right here, and I can find x. So therefore x equals 9 plus 2 times 9, or in other words, x equals 9 plus 18, or x equals 27. So there's my two numbers, 27 and 9. They want both numbers. There they are, 27 and 9. Okay? Hey, I hope this helped, and let me know. Have a great day. Bye.